All right, good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. We're going to go ahead and get started. We have a lot of content to share this morning, so we're going to kick it off. With first, just wanted to congratulate and thank everyone who participated in the KWYP event last week on March 30th. We had a really big group of people come, show up, participate, mastermind, learn how to have very positive conversations, and met with some local people to talk about how to grow your sphere and how to triple the amount of people you're putting into your database. So little teaser for our June KWYP event. If you were at this one and you want to attend next quarter's event, or if you weren't here and you want to be at the next one, more details are coming up in June. All right. I'm also going to take this time to welcome everyone who joined us in March. So we had a lot of new faces joining us in March, some of them here in the room. So yeah, here's our new group from Milwaukee North Shore for March. If you see these people around, please make sure to reach out, introduce yourself. We have Josh, Raul, Angela, Jana, Zach, Sarah, Leah, Heather, Malcolm, and Vera, who are all coming to us new into the industry. And then we have Janice from EXP and Marco joining us as well. So welcome to the KW Milwaukee North Shore office. Wauwatosa Innovation Office, we're welcoming back Will Warren. So if you see him around, welcome back, Will. Jack Holt, Angela Harper, Jessica from Shore West, and Lisa Becker. Welcome to the Innovation Office. Excited to have you. And then Lake Country, we have some new faces as well. Damara joining us from Shore West, Tiffany and Heather. Welcome to the KW Milwaukee family. We're excited to have all of these new people. All right, now I'm going to just flip it over to Steph. She's going to go through April is Fair Housing Month. So what can we expect for our compliance of the week?
Thank you, Mandy. Good morning, you guys. So it is April. That means it is Fair Housing Month. And for those of you who do not know, the reason why we celebrate fair housing in the month of April is to honor the passage of the Fair Housing Act of April of 1968. So that is why we celebrate fair housing in the month of April. I'm going to put Kathleen's hat on for the next few minutes this morning and just highlight some key trainings that are going on. I wanted to talk about this early in the month to put it on everybody's radar. And, you know, in the vein of leveling up our businesses, we're always talking about new ways in which we can do that. Incorporating diversity and inclusion trainings is key to that, and just one more way that we can grow our businesses. I do want to give a shout out to the Jay Schmidt group right now in regards to that. I know that Jay has been super intentional the past couple years about education around diversity and inclusion, not only because it's something that's passionate, a topic that he's passionate about, but Jay is, being the smart businessman that he is, knows how this will how helping to serve our communities will help his business grow. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Jay for that. First up then, next slide, Mandy, is a training with the amazing Julia Lachey Israel on the color of real estate. This specific training she has been doing over the last year. The link to register is on the training calendar, but we will be sending out the link to register tomorrow. It's Wednesday, April 6th, 2 to 3:30 p.m. Excuse me. Knowing how we all operate, we need to be reminded of it that day. So we'll send out a link for the registration tomorrow. In the course, she will talk about the history of the histories of laws and business practices that were once held in the states. I think this is super important to have an understanding of the history of old business practices and laws that used to be practiced, just to have an understanding that like our housing disparities are not by accident, and that will just help inform the rest of the training. And then in the vein of leveling up our businesses, she's going to go over skills we can develop to help expand our reach in terms of who we serve. I'm sure she's going to highlight an example of a realtor in, I think, the Minneapolis area, intentionally being intentional about going to Hmong society meetings, for example, and doing consultations and buyer and seller seminars, and now is the go-to realtor in the Hmong community in this area of Minneapolis, which is amazing. And then back to Julia Lachey in general. She is an amazing speaker, super dynamic. It'll be worthwhile just to hear her speak. And what I appreciate most about her is she is a straight shooter on all of this stuff. So I highly, highly encourage everyone to go again Wednesday, tomorrow, that's tomorrow, 2 to 3:30, and we'll send out the link for registration on that. Next up, the Fairhaven course, which we have talked about most recently in February. We had Sarah Jo come on and give her experience around this course. We also introduced it last year, the same time last year. I wanted to remind everybody of this course. It is amazing. You can take it on your own time. It was developed by the NAR in the wake of the Long Island Newsday expose that happened in, I think, winter of 2019. And it goes through discrimination court cases. You get to wear the hat of the realtor, but then on the flip side, you get to see it from the perspective of the client who was discriminated against. The objective of this course is to just help reveal where we all have implicit biases, and just really eye-opening, and sad in some areas as well. When I was preparing for this meeting today, I was thinking about when I took the course. Sarah Jo and I think took it within like a few hours of one another, and we were texting back and forth about the different cases and just like our responses to things. So I was thinking it would be awesome if you guys partnered up and, found a colleague, take it at the same time in your own homes, but just have somebody who you can like bounce these things off of as you're thinking about them. The dialogue that was sparked between Sarah Jo and I was fantastic. Again, this is ongoing. You can take it on your own time. The website is fairhaven.realtor. It takes about an hour, I would say, hour to 70 minutes. But the WRA is celebrating those of us who have taken it. And we would love to see a lot of Keller Williams names that have taken this course. So again, we will put this link in the meeting recap. So you'll have it. Next, Mandy. Okay, this is exciting. So there's a WRA designation, At Home with Diversity. So this is a specific accreditation that you can market and use when marketing yourself. I think the biggest takeaway of this training is going to be the fact that it's going to go over business plans and selling strategies to service communities. So there are going to be pointed takeaways that you can take with you and directly implement in your business, which is huge. If you want to go to the next slide, it is at the end of the month, April 27th through the 28th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Again, I love that this is broken up into mornings, knowing how we all roll. We cannot commit to something for a full day, so they made it easy for us to take. I believe that the until April 12th is $89 to take the course, and then after April 12th it is $109. So let's sign up before April 12th and save ourselves a little bit of money. Then at the end of the month, we're going to go over some quizzes that I found from the WRA. So we're going to continue to celebrate fair housing this entire month. So look for that. Be excited about it. It'll be more interactive next team meeting with some quizzes. So that is that, Miss Mandy. Thank you.
Thanks, Steph. All right, I'm going to hand it over to Lindsay for Tech Tuesday. All right, morning, everybody. So I wanted to touch on the 12 direct postcards again this week. So marketing workshops are all centered around this particular training. So if you have reached out and submitted a request to, access these templates, that's awesome. I'm so excited that we have a really good, big group of people who are utilizing these to build up your 36 touch marketing campaign. If you haven't already, there is no deadline. You can reach out at any time you want access to these templates. You can just go onto our website, submit that request, and then I will share those with you guys. So again, marketing workshops are all about how to create that direct mail campaign in Command. And these templates include the 2022 brewer schedule. We've got local garden centers, beer gardens, farmers markets. Peter, did you send out your brewer schedule? No.
Opening day is not till April 14th. I've got time.
Okay, well, anyways, that's a different story, Peter.
That's my fault for delay.
Don't delay like Peter Gossman. Okay, anyways. But if you guys don't want to send these out via direct mail, you do have the option to email these out as well. So each of these is its own email smart plan. So if you go into smart plans and you search in the library, if you just search for Q2 2022 or just type in Milwaukee, these templates are going to pull in. And the great thing about this is that you can actually schedule these out. And so you can plan ahead for 3, 4, 5 months of content. Maybe you're sending out the monthly neighborhood market update on the first of the month, and then you want to send out a second email for that month. And, maybe this goes out in the middle of the month. So you can really plan it strategically depending on how you're reaching out to your database. So again, these are available via direct mail as postcards and as emails in Command Smart Plans. And so, like I mentioned, you'll find it on the KW Realty MKE website under the Marketing Concierge. You just select that 12 direct postcard campaign, click here to sign up. You're just submitting your name and email so that I know to reach out to you to share these templates with you. All right, so another piece of leverage is Keep Please. I know we've talked about this quite a bit, but I just want to make sure that everyone is aware that this is a tool to utilize. So if you need help with open houses or showings, or you need someone to go to the inspection, anything like that, download this app, sign in. If you have any issues with it, reach out to me. If you can provide your license number, that would be even better, because I'll submit that to their support. We'll get you up and running with the app, and their support is awesome. They are within a couple hours, we'll get you up and running with the app. And so we've had quite a big group of agents utilizing this. William Lauer, I had an excellent conversation with you yesterday, just to get his perspective on how he's utilizing this app. So he said, Keep Please is my go-to if I don't have a team member available. It's awesome to have the leverage. And I know he said that he uses it quite a bit for inspections. So if he doesn't have 2, 3, 4 hours that day to sit at an inspection, he leverages the Keep Please app so that another agent is able to be there for that inspection. And so the more agents we have utilizing this app, the better, because he also said that opportunities go really quickly. So people are using it. So if you are needing that help, and you can submit that opportunity, an agent will snatch that up to either go on that showing for you or just really help you in any way. So William, thank you for that conversation yesterday. It was great just to kind of understand how everyone's utilizing this. But just a reminder, it's there, it's available, it's a great tool for you guys to use. So I have.
Great, thanks, Lindsay. Yeah, I wanted Lindsay to hit on Keep Please again too, because I know when we first adopted it, it took a while for people to be in there to start accepting things. We have over 160 agents that are registered and using Keep Please now, from Lake Country all the way to the North Shore, up to Cedarburg, down to New Berlin. So people are in there, people are using it. It's as easy as ordering an Uber. The payment all happens through there too. It's a really great tool as your business here is picking up and you're so busy to have someone hang a rider for you or do anything that you might need. So leverage our scale and help other people get that experience that they need as well on the other end. So thanks for the reminder on Key Please. All right, next we're going to go into our main content here for the day. We're going to circle back on the conversation we had last week. Last week, we spent a lot of time discussing the fundamental truths about where the market is and where we think it's heading. The conversation and the time that we spent looking at that data was to really help you all prepare your mindsets to be in a proactive state around your business. And since last week and that kind of tough conversation for some of you that we had, I talked to a lot of you about it and what your kind of takeaways from it were. And I heard a lot of the same things. I heard you guys saying, we get it. We understand. We know it's shifting. We know supply is trending down. Yes, we know rates are going up. Yes, we know this might mean that some buyers now are going to kind of fall out of the market and that demand might go down as well. What I heard a lot of you say that you wanted us to talk about is, what do we do about it? You know, we get it, but what do we do about it? How do we protect our business? How do we prepare for this change? And what you wanted to know more in speaking with you is, how do I grow market share in a smaller market? One conversation in particular that was had last week was between Charlie and Rick Ruvin. And what I heard in that conversation between Charlie and Rick was very different than a lot of the conversations I had. Rick's someone who's been through the shifting markets before. And what Rick said is, I don't believe there are good markets and that there are bad markets. He talked more about passion, mindset, and what it means to be an expert. He also talked about a lot of actionable things that you can all do to prepare yourself and your business for what's happening. I was thinking how I wish you could have all been a fly on that wall. And then I remembered the best part about the conversation was that it happened on Zoom and that I managed the Zoom account and I have the recording. So I shortened it down. I thought it would be valuable for you to hear some of that conversation, and because they both said it was okay. So let's cue that up and I'll share a little bit of that conversation with you all.
There really is no such thing in my mind as a good market or a bad market. And let me explain. So in my mind, there are three types of markets. There's the market that we have been in over the last couple of years, which is a seller's market, which means that there are more buyers than sellers. That happens to be a really nice market to be in if you're in this business. And what that means is you have buyers competing on homes, as you all know, driving prices up, et cetera. Anything that comes to market sells. That is a market where you have more buyers than sellers. There is a neutral market, and a neutral market is simply that little bit of time between shifting from one market to another. So it's not like we have these broad neutral markets. And then your other market is a market where you have more sellers than buyers. And instead of buyers competing to get homes, you have sellers competing over too few buyers. And they compete by staging their houses, they compete by lowering the prices, they compete by more favorable terms. But clearly we are in a transition. We're going from a period where we have lots of buyers. Those buyers are going to start to have second thoughts. And the main reason for that is that interest rates are rising. They've gone from under 3% to approaching 5% in a relatively short period of time. So we know. So what we're going to end up seeing is we're going to end up seeing days on market expand. We're going to start seeing price reductions. And if you kind of watch the market, you'll start to see it in homes that are maybe less desirable, in neighborhoods that aren't as sought after as others. So in the North Shore, let's say, you might see some softness in Bayside before you see it in Whitefish Bay. But it will eventually get everywhere. So what is going to happen is every conversation we have, every script we have is going to change. You're going to go from talking to buyers about, hey, interest rates are low and this is the time to kind of move up. And you know what, you're not really, don't look at it as paying over the list price, look at it as paying what the market is today. Like all those conversations are going to change. And it's going to be all about talking to sellers, educating sellers, and explaining that, well, we can't look at the comps of yesterday. We kind of have to look at where the market's going, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to kind of rededicate yourself to the scripts that are out there. Don't be discouraged. If we look back from, all the way back to 2000, let's say, from 2000 to 2022, there have only been 2 periods of time where you had more buyers than sellers. In 2005 and 6, where you saw competition and prices being driven up, and in 2020, 21, and part of 2022. The rest of that other 16 years or so, you had more sellers than buyers. We all made money, we did well, but you have to be able to shift. Now, one of the things I'm really big on is, okay, well, what does that mean and what do I do? And I'm actually going to speak to the new agents or the agents that are just getting going, and you're starting to have some success and you're a little bit worried about, well, what is the future going to hold? Well, in times like these, you have to have a plan. And one of the plans that work the best for younger agents, for agents that are just getting rolling, is when the market changes, generally there's a flight to safety. So what happens is, the teams tend to do better because when times are tough, they want to go to somebody with experience. The way to combat that, and I really care about making sure that you're all a success and we all come along together, the way to combat that is to shrink your area of focus and do that either geographically or demographically. But geographically, pick a neighborhood. Pick a neighborhood that maybe you've sold a home in or you have friends in or you live in, and become an expert on everything in that neighborhood. Days on market, what is sold, why it's sold, why certain homes are selling for more than others, you name it. Be an expert in that neighborhood and be visible in that neighborhood. Knock on doors, do door hangers, call people, go to things where those people are at. Be visible and be an expert. That's the way you're going to build your business. You can also do it, I call it demographically, but rather than a neighborhood, it could be your church or temple. It could be a club that you're in. Anything that you're around people. The nice thing about geographic is it's a little bit easier to be an expert on a small area, but demographically be an expert on the whole area, and be able to explain to people too that that there's no such thing as a bad market. Either sellers are doing really well or buyers are doing really well, and our job is to make a match and make sure that everybody wins.
Totally agree. It's almost, you have to think bring it down to build the strong foundation in order to build it out, right? Talk to in our conversations too, we talked a little bit about how we're going to go through a period of time here where there's going to be low inventory with interest rates going up and the appreciation that it has. Buyers are also going to be opting out. So we're going to be entering into a time period too where there's low inventory and low buyers. And how are you thinking through, you're advising your agents of like, okay, this is going to be even more of a competitive market because not only is supply at an all-time low, demand is going to start lowering because of the interest rates. What are your thoughts on that, or what are you thinking through to help advise your group?
So we're all going to have to grow our market share in a smaller market. So if there are too few buyers, if there are too few sellers, there's always too few of something. In this case, there might be too few of both. But truly, we're going to have to grow our market share within a smaller market. And there's a perfect tool for doing that. And that tool is your cell phone. This is the only tool you need to survive what we're about to head into. And I know last week you talked about you have to call 3 times more people. Well, Some people don't know, how do I call 3 times more people? Well, the trick is be an expert, call with some value, give honest advice. And if you don't have a list of hundreds of past clients, which most of us don't, call the people you love first. Tell them all about the market. They're easy calls. They'll be easy to listen to. They'll listen to you easily. And you'll have a nice dialogue, and you'll start to see the questions that people ask, and tell them where you think we're headed, what you would do if you were a buyer, seller, etc. And you call all the people you love, and in those conversations, ask them, hey, who do you think I should call? Who might like to have this type of message? Once you've worked through the love list, then start calling the like list. Just call people that you like. If you're calling saying, hey, I want to sell your house, or do you want to buy something? No one wants that call. But if you're calling saying, hey, you're going to start to hear things in the news, and I just want to educate you, and I want you to know that anytime you hear something on TV or you read it in the paper, you can call me, and I'll kind of give you my take on how things are going. Start that, just the love like list. I carry around 350 people. My team knows that. I'm making notes next to everybody I call. They're all warm calls, and I can tell you that personally I've generated one listing, a big house, and 4 more CMAs from that, just in 10 days worth of work. Once we all started to sense, hey, this is going on, I'm doing the love like, and it works. We're all nervous to pick up the phone, but everybody that I call, I like or love, and I'm calling because I care about them. And if I just remember that before I pick up the phone, my passion is to educate people. My passion is not to sell or buy homes for them. My passion is to be an advisor and to help them make great decisions. And in doing so, we happen to sell a lot of homes, but start with that mindset. It'll be well received, and your business will continue to grow. I promise to make myself available. If anybody has any questions, any concerns, they don't know what direction to go into.
You know where I'm at with that. It's scheduled,
Right.
Chat with you. I do that with probably 100 people a year. So I'm a firm believer in a rising tide. I love my brothers and sisters here at Keller Williams, and please don't hesitate to reach out.
Helpful?
Oh, yeah. Great.
All right. Well, I'm glad I stole that out of the recordings. Someone's always watching. All right, there was a lot in there. I'm going to show you some of my favorite takeaways from that are going to be, what do you do? What I noticed he said is every script has to change. The market's changing, so we have to re-educate ourselves on the scripts that are out there. Don't get discouraged. Between 2000 and 2022, we only had 2 periods where there were more buyers than sellers. We talk about a shift all the time. What do you mean? What do I have to do? Have a plan, shrink your area of focus, either geographically or demographically, and become an expert of that focus and be visible. How are you going to grow market share in a smaller market? Be an expert, call with value, give honest advice, pick up the phone. Call the people you love first. I love this. And call the people you like next. Call to educate and not to ask for something. Mindset and passion should be to educate and to be an advisor, and you will be well received, right? Sounds simple. I have to take this opportunity to share another place where you can listen to Rick. It's on his new podcast. Rick released a podcast called More Than a Sign, where he interviews other realtors and has intimate discussions about their journeys, their struggles, the fear, and ultimately the personal growth along the way. So this Saturday, I woke up, started a walk on the Oak Leaf Trail. It was freezing. It was snowing. I was not happy about it. I put on an episode featuring Molly Gallagher, whose birthday was yesterday. So happy birthday, Molly. And it totally changed my mindset and attitude for the day. Give it a listen. It's brave, it's raw, it's beautiful, it's positive all the way through.
And I know a lot of you are working harder than you've ever worked before in your business. You're writing more offers than you've ever had to write to get an accepted offer. And there's a lot of long days, long nights. I see you all on social. You're fighting out there for your clients. But it's going to be really comforting to hear some stories from others who walked in your shoes and their struggles and successes. So give it a listen, the frg.com/podcast, or I even had it on Spotify too. So congrats, Rick, on your podcast. Everyone check it out. So with the information shared last week and in Rick's message, one thing that you all should be hearing very loud and clear is that you need to hone in on where you are fishing for your business. You need to understand the demographics of the buyers and the sellers in order to craft the right strategy for the market of the moment. And it's perfect timing. The NAR just released their results from their 2021 Profile of Home Buyers and Sellers survey. It's an annual survey that they give to sellers who've recently completed a transaction, and the report gives insight into detailed buying and selling behaviors. And this year marked its 40th anniversary of the survey. But what makes it especially unique is that it includes for the first time an entire year of data from when the buyers and sellers all purchased during a pandemic. So it looks very different. There's a lot of things that change. This last year is especially distinctive as home buyers have entered the housing market with historically low housing inventory and historically high year-over-year price gains. So you're going to see in some of this data that the buyers purchased a home not only for their desire to own a home like in the past, but also for new desires like to be closer to friends and family and the need for larger homes. The pandemic changed how homes are used as well as the location in which they were bought. So you'll see that there's a jump in buyers who noted two factors for their neighborhood choice was the proximity to friends and family, where in past years it was convenience to work and affordability were the top factors. So the information I'm going to share supplies understanding from the consumer level of what we talk about in this room every week. The survey is going to cover information on demographics and housing characteristics and the experience that the consumers in the housing market, as well as those who haven't entered the market yet, who we should be targeting. So buyers and sellers also provide the valuable information on the role that you all play and how they're, satisfied with the real estate professional and what they do in the transaction. So we're going to focus on the group of people, and the people you see in this survey are who you should be zeroing in and who you should be targeting in when you're working on narrowing in who you're looking to target. So I'm going to review some of the information from this report. I would definitely give it a look and read through it because it's really interesting. But 45% of all buyers were first-time home buyers in 2021. The national average is 34%. This is a strong consumer confidence in the Milwaukee real estate market for the first-time home buyers. 46-year-olds with a median income of $101,000. Relationship status, 57% were married couples, 25% were the single females, 11% unmarried couples, 6% single males.
We rock.
Desire to own a home was the primary reason at 38% versus 29% nationally. What this says is there's a strong consumer confidence in the Milwaukee real estate market. 6% were veterans and 1% were active military. This is down 50% for both metrics from the US national average. Looking at the characteristics of the homes that they purchased, new construction made up only 2% of the Milwaukee market, which was down 50% from 2020. The national average is 15%. The median distance between the home purchased and where they moved was only 10 miles, which is 33% shorter than national average. So this tells me that people in Milwaukee aren't nearly as mobile and stay close to where they're familiar. I thought this was a big stat too. Buyers expect to live in their homes for 5 years. The national average is 12 years. So if you have any previous clients that sold 4 years ago, now is probably a good time to reach out to them. Milwaukee buyers have shorter expectations of how long they plan to live in the homes they purchased. All right, here's what they had to say about you all. 91% of buyers were represented through an agent versus 87% nationally. This metric decreased 5% versus 2020. 52% of the buyers found their agent via a referral, 11% higher than the national average. This means reputation and relationships matter in Milwaukee. 79% of buyers only interviewed one agent during their home search. Top of mind is the name of the game. 94% would recommend their agent again. Here's the profile of our sellers. The median age, 45 years old with an income of $112,000 annually. Most commonly cited reasons for selling. 31% said their house was too small. 18% wanted to move closer to friends and family. 10% had a change in family situation, down from 13%. And sellers typically lived in their home for 8 years. Trending shorter, in 2020, the metric was 10 years. 94% of the transactions used for selling used an agent. This is an increase by 6% in 2021. So consumers do value your services to help them navigate this market. It's great news. Homes only lasted on the market for 1 week. 70% of sellers were satisfied with their experience. This is an increase versus 2020. The level of customer service has increased. Competition has made it a better client experience. The sellers and real estate professionals, 85% found their agent via referral from a friend, a neighbor, relative, or someone they had worked with previously. That's the highest it's ever been in years. 92% only contacted one agent, which is 10% higher than it was in 2020. And the national average is 75%. Top of mind, if you aren't first, you will not have an opportunity. 99% of homes were listed on Metro MLS. The typical seller has referred their agent 2 times since selling their home. What am I going to say?
Listings have a.
There you go. 52% of sellers recommended their agent 3 or more times since selling. Are your listings having babies? All right, so that was a lot of information. Key takeaways is your reputation is your brand. More than ever, people are leaning into those they have worked with or referred from someone that they trust. It's vital to win business, the first meeting with buyers and sellers. So if you leave without a buyer agency or a listing contract, there's a high likelihood that you lost the business. Competition is fierce and has forced the industry to up its game. The byproduct of that is increased satisfaction in the service you deliver. Consumer confidence in your profession is incredibly high, especially compared to the national average, which is also high. This is good news for you guys. People value your service to help them navigate the complexity of the market. It's a lot. I'll share the report. It's online. It's worth a read. It's really interesting. It's going to give you guys a better idea on who you need to be targeting in these next few months. Hopping over to upcoming training and education to wrap up the meeting today. They talked about this on our regional call. This is cool. This is a KW team. So they got a show, Flipping Down South. We have a social media panel that's happening this week. These guys were found because of their social media. What they do is they flip a lot of homes in areas that need lower cost housing and things like that. So it's going to be on A&E, it's on Hulu, it's on all of the things. I thought it was kind of cool to finally see a KW team out there on a mainstream channel. So it comes out this week. Check it out. They're all KW people. Then I'm going to flip it over to Diana. She's going to go through what we can expect for training and education to wrap us out today. Diana?
Hey, good morning, everybody. I loved hearing what Rick had to say, and one of the things that I really keyed in on is don't get discouraged, right? Every market, there's opportunity, and one of the things that we work to do is bring you opportunities to key into those markets so that you can increase your skills, so that you can go out and get the business. So this week particularly, we have the social media panel starting at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Strongly encourage you guys to dial into that. We talked about the fair housing opportunities with the color of real estate. Don't forget that that's all available on Wednesday. So join us for that. And I just saw, we talked about an event that's coming down the road. So I want to highlight one of the things that makes this company culture just an amazing opportunity to key in on. And if you do find yourself getting a tiny bit discouraged, I encourage you to help other people. It's one of the best ways to remember why we're in this business. And Red Day is one of the best ways to help other people. Red stands for Renew, Energize, Donate. It's a time when all of the Keller Williams around the world focus on reaching out in their communities. And we have 3 great opportunities to do that. One is an in-person opportunity to come kind of throw your back into work and get your hands in the dirt. It's at Zacharias Acres. If you were here with us last year, you may remember being a part of this amazing organization. It's out in Oconomowoc. It is serves over 8,000 families, 150 acres. They have a garden, they have a fishing pond, they have chickens, they have all sorts of ways that you can participate, and the population is for special needs families. So giving them the opportunity to get out and enjoy nature. And then we also have 2 other opportunities to donate. Mr. Bob's Under the Bridge helps, their mission is to serve the homeless and to make sure that they have warmth and dignity and all that good stuff. So plan to donate there, and Operation Dream supports underserved families. So more information on how you can donate to those 2 organizations will be coming. We're going to be setting up centers in our innovation in our North Shore sites to make sure that they get support there, and plan on May 12th to join us out here in Oconomowoc at Zacharias Acres. So that's what we have for Red Day, and the RSVP will be coming out later this morning. And here you see Win With Social, April 6th, 10 o'clock. Our panelists, Chrissy Klasky, Jessica Hinaway, and Sarah Reardon will be sharing their secrets and how they are remain front and center. So join there. And we also have this amazing opportunity, Coffee with Corey. You may know Corey Lamont. She's our GMA, our lawyer, and has amazing information for us, and she's very articulate, and I think she explains things really, really well. So put this on your calendar for 11 at 9:30. And then Fairway is bringing us this opportunity to dive into the housing and economics of the moment. The 2022 summit will be hosted April 13th from noon to 2. And you can see our panelists there and keynote speakers, Dave, Kevin, and Dan.
Great. Thanks, Diana. Thanks, everyone. I hope you guys got some good actionable things to take out of today's meeting, and we'll have Lake Country hop over to your meetup, and then Tosa, Milwaukee will go through upcoming listings.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys. Have a great day.
You got it. What time the 11th is? What time is that you?
On the 6th.
6. What's on the 11th? Something on the 11th. Something with Corey Lamont.
All right, guys, who's got upcoming listings?